Woo! Oh, sorry. Not the right shit.
One, two, three. What is going on, YouTube world?
Okay, Dave, that was bad.
So it's different from any other week? How?
Facts. But this is a family show, remember?
Well, it was family. It was a very dollar store ripoff of the Count from Sesame Street, and nothing screams family like Sesame Street.
If you say so.
Been
For
proven.
those who watch Sesame Street, which would have been our generation.
I was gonna say if folks in our generation didn't, PBS was always around. So,
This is true.
um,
This is true.
Steve, Vinny, I'm Dave, IRP 155. Happy Halloween to you all. Cold one up here, slippery one up here.
Chilly here.
First measurable snowfall. Plow trucks, city trucks, just putting some dirt out. Hey, you don't need that. So start the season off right.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
You'll have to excuse Steve tonight. He's watching.
5-0. Seager, 2-run homer.
He's watching clips of the last Dallas Card Show.
Let's go!
All of our hobby heroes and friends are there, cheering him on as he makes a purchase. So, watching those highlights. He's watching Game 3 of the World Series. I am watching game number 9 or 10.
4.
It shows how into the old WS I am this year. I'm watching game, like I said, 10 or 11, maybe 12 of the 2004 season. Cleveland Browns going to Cincinnati Bengals, and it's not even crossed 5 minutes gone in the game, and Chad Johnson just had a 50-yard touchdown reception, and it's 14-7 Cincinnati. So it's something about like one of the second highest scoring games between them. So I'm like, you know what? I know one game that was insane, the 51-48 game, like 2007. So tried to watch some volleyball since there's like nothing else on ESPN Plus tonight. So the options sports wise for me and what I've got on my streaming docket are very limited. But shows to watch, just go back. I know Dennis Northcutt's playing, so I can always pretend like one of my guys is doing well. So other than that, my diatribe of rambling, I'll draw it out a little more. Thank you for Ryan and Neil, the boys from RBI Crew, joining us last week. I always enjoy having them on, giving a delightful insight into the hobby world that a lot of dealers would not otherwise do because of transparency issues. People don't like to be transparent. They like to have their own the information that they have, keep that close to the vest no matter what that information is. So again, Ryan, Neil, thank you guys for coming on.
Absolutely.
Believe me, it was, as they said, an adventure trying to finally close the deal. Because again, they were supposed to be on, I know, one time in September, and they completely just spaced it. So, which all of us we do try to message back and forth during the show, and like, are they coming on? What's literally, I haven't heard anything from them. So, But they're on.
As we say, though, shit happens.
True. You'd like to know, like, hey, during the thing, what's going on. But when you're not hearing nothing from them, like, So
Yeah, it makes you. Well, it makes you wonder: did something happen? Everything okay? Because the two of them are usually fairly responsive.
when you've
And
got something going on and you're intertwined with them on something, they're usually back and forth pretty quickly.
yep,
So
100%. So, like you said, it was nice to have those guys back on. It was a month in the making, but hey, we made it happen. Actually, I should say they made it happen because all you did was get it scheduled. Technically.
Oh, and next week too. That's the other thing. Say it right away while people are actually in here paying attention. Stay tuned for another special guest to come on. So one that folks actually enjoy listening to as well. So
Next week.
yes,
So you guys will have to pardon some of this and things and the
you don't have to.
clapping
You don't have to pardon it. They don't have to.
and the potential fucks because there may be a few of those too, depending on situation and circumstance. But so there's this big freaking thing going on in baseball for those who actually watch the game, and a certain team happens to be there from North Texas that hasn't been since 2011, and they're playing really good.
The Mike Mooneyham.
Of course, the game. Okay, that's 3 pitches in the strike zone that you called a fucking ball. Bastard. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I went on a little bit of a tangent on, what was that, Sunday night? Saturday night? It had to have been Saturday night.
Oh,
The series started Friday. I normally don't bitch much about baseball games or the umpiring in the strike zone. But that game too, I have never, other than the video clip you sent, Dave, and like I said in my statement, it was not that egregious, but it was pretty damn close. And all the announcers kept talking about is Merrill Kelly and painting this the strike zone inside outside, and almost every pitch that was called a strike was 1 to 2 inches outside of the fucking strike zone, and they were getting every call. And yet Texas pitching, same situation. Sometimes closer. Ball, ball, ball. And it's like, when you put a team in that situation, you take them out of their rhythm. You put them on their heels, they're going to start swinging at bad pitches. You don't even give them a chance to play.
Mm-hmm.
That's a competitive advantage, and it's bullshit. However, the Rangers sucked ass that game. So it wasn't all associated to the bad umpiring, but it did have a lot to do with it. In this game already, there's been 4 in the strike zone by Heaney that have been called balls. There's already been 2 that have been outside the strike zone in Arizona, and they've called them strikes. Just saying. I'm off my soapbox now.
Yeah, it's always hard to, especially now with the advent of technology over the last how many years with that strike zone, when you have the graphic that pops up, you're like, well, man, that was pretty close there. Hey, that was in the perceived strike zone, and it's not called. And then the other team, 3 to 4 inches outside of the perceived strike zone, and they get that call. It's always
So look, like even if the ball shows red, it may or may not be a strike. In
yeah,
all fairness.
correct.
But at least 2 of the 3 pitches that I've paid attention to, they at least a half or 2/3 of the ball was actually in the strike zone,
Mm-hmm.
and it was called a ball. I'm sorry, that's a strike all day long. All day long.
And you don't even have work.
Well, what's interesting is last inning when the Rangers scored their runs, there was a pitch that was at least an inch and a half inside or outside. Maybe it was inside. That's not important. Nowhere close to the strike zone.
But he's
And
not.
They called a strike. And they called a strike. And the announcers were even like, "Oh, they gave him that call." And I'm like, no shit.
That's the thing, Jeff. That's the first thing when Steve went on his rambling long diatribe there in our chat, and I'm like, I gotta see who the fuck was umping, because again, I haven't watched, so I don't know. I've never even heard of this guy that was umping. Like, I'm not gonna try to remember who it was. I think there was a abbreviation like a CQ or CP or QJ or JC something. Again, I looked. I'm like, I don't know these guys. These aren't the names that I recognize from years gone by.
If I'm not mistaken, they said early on, number 1 ranked umpire for fairness in calling balls and strikes. And I'm like, okay, maybe this will work out.
That was a regular season.
Of course it was. But wrong. And there was a point in time where Jonah Heim was kind of mouthing a little bit. And Martin Perez, freaking yelled something to him after they finally got out of an inning. Because it's like, time the fuck out. Why are they getting all the calls, but yet we're putting the ball in the same place?
Yep.
And it's balls. You're automatically putting our hitters at a disadvantage going 0-1, sometimes 0-2. Maybe we get lucky. Maybe we get a walk. Maybe we get on base. Maybe we don't. But when you look at him, you're like, okay, that should have been a 4-pitch walk. And yet it's a strikeout. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta stand up. Oh. I kind of turned.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, when the refs or the umpires are showing, the only consistency they're showing is inconsistency. That's not a good thing. When they become the focal point of a game, that's
if they do it across the board. And look, Arizona's a good team. Arizona's a good team. They fought their way to the series just like the Rangers did. I am not taking away anything that Arizona has done. No way, shape, form, or fashion am I putting all the ownership on the umpires for that Game 2 loss. I'm not. The Rangers couldn't do shit to save their life. They were horrible. Horrible. But if you're going to be inconsistent for both teams. Don't make it seem like it's one-sided. It's no different in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
If penalties should not be one-sided. Penalties should not dictate the potential outcome of a game. Usually, they will make up for it at some point. They made up for it last night on a blown strike call that was called a ball. And one that should have been a ball, in ball 4, they called a strike because I think the umpire realized he fucked up. And that went in our favor. But be inconsistent for both sides. Because then you know, as a pitcher and as a batter, where the strike zone kind of falls. You can go up to bat with a plan. But as a pitcher, an opposing pitcher, you're doing the same thing that the other pitcher's doing, and you're not getting the calls. That's a problem. I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a huge baseball guy. I've said it countless times. I want this to be a good series. I want it to be a fair series. I want it to be consistent. And so far, it hasn't been. And that's disappointing. As a fan of the game,
Yes.
that's disappointing.
It's regardless
of who you root for. It is abysmal for baseball on the biggest stage on national television to see the umpiring as bad as what it is, no matter which side of the ball you're on. What side of the fence, what team you're rooting for. Like, somebody new to the game of baseball, hey, this is the World Series. These teams were wild card teams. They should have never been there. This was a great series. And you let somebody watch it and they see the shitty umpiring? How many people are going to sit there and want to stick around and become a baseball fan because it's like, what's this garbage?
Well, yeah, you've had to try to fucking reel them back in from all the shitty calls. You have 3.5 hour games that are like 9 to 5 games. Pitchers sitting out there in the middle of the field, taking their time. Nomar Garciaparra type batting. Rituals. It's like you sped the game up. The ratings are up. And now you have this shit going on, which, again, there's been a lot of it over the years. There's been how much talk of the artificial intelligence going for umpiring, implementing that.
It's being used in the minor leagues, is it not?
Yep. And it's working well.
Well,
it's at some point it's going to happen because you have too much of a discrepancy with the umpires and how they call a game. So,
I mean, do you still need? You're still going to have umpires. It's not like you can do away with them.
Yeah.
You're still going to need one behind the plate.
Yep. Still one at
for any calls at the plate. You're going to need one first and third, watching the lines. Like, you're still going to need them. But figure out a way to where if it's, let's say 97% accurate, 95% accurate, that's going to be higher than most of your annual average for an umpire.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're Angel Hernandez.
Oh.
I still want to understand how that guy still has a job.
He's got to be paying somebody off.
Like, I don't get it. Like, He's bad in every facet of the game. No matter where he is on the field, he's horrible. I'm surprised I've gotten no rebuttals. There were a lot of baseball people in here. I was expecting some rebuttals, some disagreeing statements.
Even some agreements. I mean, just something.
Well, and look, I had to go back in the larger text thread and be like, look, I am not putting all the blame on the umpire for Texas losing that game at all. Texas couldn't hit their way out of a wet paper bag. But in all fairness, when you put batters on their heels in a pretty substantial expanded strike zone,
Mm-hmm.
it does cause problems. Advantage pitcher. If it were consistent across the board, I wouldn't have said anything as it pertained to the calling of balls and strikes.
You might have mentioned like, hey, what a not a great strike zone by the home plate ump tonight. I mean, it seemed a little wide. Seemed a little wide tonight.
It was like, interesting. And Ed even said, he's Merrill Kelly being zoned in. Zoned in with a little help from the umpire. Painting the strike zone with a little help from the umpire.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, inconsistent, consistent, I'm okay with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If the strike zone is the same across the board, then that's fair. That is a fair contest because they're being called the same across the board. When it seems one-sided or is one-sided, because I watched every fucking pitch of that game, I've watched every pitch of this World Series, and I'm seeing a little bit of it tonight too. The only difference is Texas has been able to capitalize and get some runs. So it hasn't hurt them because they're being patient. So, plus, they're on their fourth pitcher, I think. I have it paused right now, so I don't even know what the hell's gone on since, I gave you the synopsis, Dave, before we went live. But that game was aggravating. Last night's was a nail biter. I don't like close games, especially with Texas's bullpen and Aroldis Chapman. But they pulled out a win last night, up 2-1. Last I checked, they were up 5-0 going into the third inning. Hell, that could have changed. So for anybody watching the game live, do not tell me anything. I have the game paused. I don't want to know. When I go back inside, I will start it again, and I will get caught up. But I want to hear it. Please and thank you. So anyways, off of my baseball diatribe, which I know is unusual. Happy Halloween. That ought to tell you it's something off.
Full moon and such.
Here I am talking baseball. Oh, how about them Broncos? Sorry, couldn't help myself.
It's just like the Vikings up here. You have people sitting there, and I said, watch them beat Green Bay. And then watch people start getting excited for maybe a playoff run. Well, good luck with that now. With Kirk Cousins tearing his ACL.
No, Jeff, we are not going to the Expo this year.
Not. a year from now, that's
Possibly.
going to be the word what we'll try to be doing.
We kind of have a pre-planned plan.
What's going
But
on,
that's
Scott?
still what's going on, Scott? But that's still a long way away.
The expectation for a year from now is hopefully getting up there. I hope our fame isn't as great as it was this year.
Or lack thereof.
No, everybody seemed to mostly somewhat be either puzzled by our appearance or excited if they knew we were coming, which I mean, I don't think we mentioned it at all prior to showing up. I mean,
No, I'm pretty sure that started like January. Maybe a little bit before that.
if not sooner.
Damn it, LA Pats, I told you, don't say anything.
We have a group of good listeners.
Hey Dave, how you liking that Voltage Mountain Dew?
I enjoy it. That's if I can't have and I've got still some of the Baja Blast left, but now summer's over. It's not in the stores. This is as close to that as I'll get. So it's nice and smooth, and on the worst part is you can pretty much handle through it quickly and be like,
That's an error.
I don't want another can because, again, I'm not 16, 21 anymore where you can just sit there and pound 6, 7 of them and not feel it. Now it's like, hey, tons of fun. You've been doing this for a while. We're getting throw some water and throw something nutritious, some milk, some orange juice, something.
Does Leote come through with actually doing something, which is why they scored?
I'm shocked that he's had, I won't say a resurgence because it's not.
Oh, he has blown ass in this World Series. He has been.
But I mean, during the season, this was somebody that was like another non-roster type invitee in spring training, and it's like, okay, if you're going to make the team, you're probably a depth piece, like a defensive replacement in the later innings. But during the regular season, he did fairly well for them. Again, something that they looked for, like how many years ago when they signed him, or they whatever, however they acquired him. It's like they're expecting like fairly big things from him then.
Well, it's like what's interesting. A lot of guys in the lineup have had like ups and downs. You know, Mitch Garver has had a pretty quiet postseason, but he's got like 13 or 14 RBIs in the entire postseason. And of course, Tavares swings on a pitch that's fucking 5 miles outside the damn strike zone. Anyways, but like Tavares hasn't done shit at all this series. Simeon seems to be kind of picking up a little bit, which is something that was needed.
Mm-hmm.
Garcia being out was kind of a concern a little bit, but you know, Jankowski, his first at bat replacing Garcia was a hell of a freaking first hit.
And he's another one.
That's in the gap.
Nachos, Baz.
Yep, there's the 7-0. Jankowski with a 2-run double. Is 2
And
for
that-
2, a single and a double, and 2 RBIs. Who says we need freaking Garcia? Fuck all of y'all.
That
Sorry.
I know with Jankowski, I have followed him. I'm trying to remember where the hell he played college because he was in the College World Series and it wasn't for anybody of use.
There's the 10-0. Simeon just fucking 3-run homer. 10-0 in the top of the third. No more given scores. I'm watching this as it's unfolding. I've been pausing. This is what I wanted. This is what I was wanting. After that 9-1 game 2 loss, I wanted a fucking shellacking.
Well, you're getting one.
Well, it's still the third inning. It's a.
What'd
I
you
know you
have?
did, LA Pets. I know you did.
So there was C's costume. She was Edward Scissorhands.
A good costume, but the logistics of trying. I want a piece of candy. Doesn't do it.
She had some difficulty, fellas. It was she had the bag looped around her arm, so it was open. So she kind of just went like this, and then she'd go to dip her hand in the bag and or the things, and it was not working out well.
Let's say the logistics of that. Great on paper, executed flawlessly until, there's whatever her favorite candy is in there. I would like a treat. Well, and if those, I'm assuming the fingers are plastic.
Like cloth, heavy
Okay.
cloth.
So I was gonna say if it was like either metal or otherwise, it's like let me try to get it and slice the bag, and the bag rips open, and everybody's, yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to do this tomorrow night too. Maybe not a live show, but so far, it's just bringing good luck.
I'm game.
I'll be at a volleyball section semifinal in Virginia. Ely trying to march towards another state appearance. Their only losses this year have been at something at the end of September. Like when we were down in Appleton that same weekend, they were Barnesville or Burnsville. I don't remember because there's two of them in the state. But it was a Class A, like state title or state gathering from the year before, and of course, one of their best outside hitter sprains her ankle the night before in practice. They're going down there, so they lost all 6 games or 7 because I think they played everyone, and I think there was 8 teams in the state tournament. So to lose all 7, which to lose all to the other 7 teams, minus obviously themselves. But again, they played well, so now they're at their full capabilities, personnel-wise, and there's still there's a couple they graduated. I think 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7. 3 of which were big-time players. Two of the one middle hitter and one outside hitter, and then their libero, which solid, but our best setter was a junior last year. Now she's a senior. I mean, just incredible the work she does. But yeah, you've been able to tell. I think they've had on the floor at any given time 4 freshmen. And usually it's not all at the same time, unless it's like a blowout and whatnot. So it'll be interesting because the final 4 teams, they've beat the other 3 teams, I think, twice this year each. So you know what they always say, third time, that's never easy. So I think we get South Range, which is about 10 miles north of Cloquet. Or no, 20 miles north of Duluth, I'd say. And they were the smart basketball team last year at the end of the year that had a 6'9" and a 6'10" guy. Again, this is northeastern Minnesota. Those 2 guys were sitting on the perimeter the whole time. And they're dunking effortlessly in a pregame. And I'm like, what the hell happened here? You will be in the block, you will be in the post, and so we'll see if that translates over to volleyball. And then the championship would be, I think, Saturday. And then Mountain Iron Cherry plays Friday, but I don't know if we're going to go to that. That's just, I don't enjoy the weather right now. It is cool out. So we'll see, because Mountain Iron beat Cherry a few weeks ago. They were undefeated at the time. Mountain Iron's still undefeated. Reigning state champs. Cherry has a guy that's going to the U for basketball. But last year we went to that game, Naomi and I, and it was like 34-6 maybe at halftime. And I'm like, yep, they're not coming back. So, but it was 0-0 at the game a few weeks ago at halftime. So, I don't know. TJ Hushmanzada, 84.
Who's your mama?
I don't think he doesn't have the braid tail thing in 04. It must have been a couple years later.
Yeah, I'm guessing so, because to be honest, I always remembered him with the braid tail.
21-13, 6:19 left in the second quarter.
That's crazy. Who was the quarterback for the Browns?
Old crumbs. Kelly.
Moldy crumbs.
Butch Davis still coaching, so I mean that couldn't have been too much longer.
Yeah, because you said Palmer earlier.
Well, no, Hushmanzada, they just showed him on the sideline, has it, but he's got it tucked into his jersey.
No, you were mentioning Carson Palmer throwing the ball.
Yep.
1 pound or 8 ounce? 16.
16.
Yeah, you got William Green. My boy Northcutt bobbled a touchdown, so it didn't count. Aaron Shea, Steve Hayden. I mean, there's a lot of names that I'm like, oof.
And you said 04, right?
Yep.
So Carson's second year.
Yeah, he's already thrown 2 picks. And then looking at the scroll on the bottom of the screen, it's like, ooh. Vikings, Kelly Campbell with a rush of 16 yards. Ontario, the Whizzinator, Smith.
God, he was a journeyman.
Who?
Ontario.
No, he wasn't. He was out of the league quick. Because he had that.
I meant as far as he played. Didn't he also play for Minnesota?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm reading like the scroll now on the bottom. It's like McNair. Okay. McNair, you have Antoine Smith, who I don't remember at all in Tennessee. Drew Bennett, remember him?
Yeah, Antoine Smith was drafted by Buffalo.
Yep.
Oh, so you're watching the scroller thing.
Yeah, that's like the old fantasy thing of today. This must have been one of the first couple of years I remember. I don't. Cause you used to get the score, and that was about it.
Because when you said Ontario Smith, I was thinking that he was playing for either Cincy or Cleveland or
Cincy,
whatever, and I'm like, so sorry.
No, yeah, he was out quickly. I think after the Wizinator thing.
Can't say I remember that.
Because it was found, I think, when he was up going to Canada, in his carry-on or whatever it is, something that's somehow masked, like marijuana usage in your urine.
Oh, okay.
So if you ever called upon like the random drug test, and you'd have that apparatus with you to ensure passing that drug test.
Gotcha. Joe, I can honestly say I didn't realize that Georgia moved down. But
No,
Georgia hasn't played anybody
anyone.
huge, really.
No.
Ohio State has.
Yeah, because they just beat Penn State, I think. So it's a top 10 team.
Yeah, but don't count Georgia out though. I mean, if they stay in the top 4, they're going to be playing for the national championship again. They've got a damn good team again this year. Not that I've watched a lot of college football, which I don't ever. I usually watch 2 games a year. Texas OU, and that was disappointing. And then the national championship. I get all my draft stuff as far as looking at the scores and looking at some of the stat lines and stuff like that, as far as, some of the quarterbacks and receivers. And I'm not Brad or Dave, even for that matter, as it pertains to, the studs at the various positions and so on and so forth. And I was just happy to watch freaking Denver beat Kansas City. Since 2015. And that was an all-around team effort.
Mm-hmm.
That was an all-around team effort. So, and yes, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't want to hear any motherfucker say anything about, well, Mahomes was sick. He had the flu. Shut the fuck up. He's the NFL's golden boy. I don't want to freaking hear it. If he was that sick and couldn't play up to standards, then he shouldn't have played.
Mm-hmm.
And he sure the heck didn't play like he was sick. Second game I've been able to watch all year. I don't care if we win another damn game. That I can at least go off on a high note if we lose the rest of the season.
Yeah, and they didn't make any deals today either.
Well, and I mean, speculation was if they got their ass kicked or if they lost, everybody would be on the chopping block, which at that point, your season's pretty much done. Now you're actually playing for draft position, honestly. But because it was an all-around team win, the defense looked good. The offense kind of staggered in a few places. I wish they would have gotten more points off turnovers. But, it was an all-around team win. The entire team played well. Special teams did good. The one big botch was the freaking blocked field goal. But outside of that, they played freaking fantastic. If they played like that every week, consistently like that every week, it'd be a whole different game. No Halloween wreaths. We have fall wreaths. We don't do Halloween wreaths. But we do have fall wreaths up pretty much in a few places in the house. And my wife had mentioned foot traffic for trick-or-treaters was fairly light. And it is a little bit chilly here for a Halloween. She got cold, so she came in. We shut it down early. When no kids come by after like 15 or 20 minutes and it's already chilly outside, it's time to call it a night. So, and for those who didn't catch early on, it's snowing up north in Minnesota country. It's about to snow or is snowing up in Michigan.
Is it snow by them?
Dave had snow yesterday into today, and it's going to hit Vinny either today or already is doing it tonight.
It's snowing lightly right now.
Vinny. But it's supposed to be like 29 degrees in the morning, which, you know, in October in Texas is extremely unusual. However, when I was in middle school, we actually had snow flurries on Halloween. And it was like 27 degrees or some shit. It was cold. So it can happen, just doesn't happen very often. I mean, you're talking 30 years. What, Ben?
You get ice, not real snow. Most of the time.
Oh, this is true. Except for the one year where we were colder than Minnesota and Michigan combined and had like 13 inches of snow.
The kids were little. When they were little.
They
That
were
picture
jealous.
popped up on my newsfeed.
They were jealous of our negative wind chills and single digit temperatures when they were in the, 30s. Don't lie. Y'all were jealous.
As I say, Vinny's trying to show a pop, I think, and then
Oh, he just came in from outside and he's
Covered?
quite damp. Speaking of pups, it was 11 years ago today that my daughter Shelby called me at work in the middle of a meeting, and we picked up that guy. So there is a young, thin ghost, less vocal. It's the day we got him. And there's him with my and then there's him and his brother, Dryden, sitting on the couch, just chilling. So 11 years ago today, it didn't hit me till later in the day that I realized, put two and two together, and my brain had time to slow down to realize that was today. So
what was the
somewhere
story behind?
huh?
What was the story behind picking up Ghost?
Oh, so we were supposed to get Ghost when he was a baby, and then the woman had two big fluff ball huskies.
Okay.
I forget their names, but they were like 120 pounds, big fluff balls, championship purebred huskies. Well, they had 5 pups, and Ghost was the runt.
Okay.
So when Ghost was born, they didn't want to feed him. They didn't want nothing to do with him. They used to throw him and toss him around. And she's like, well, do you want him? So Shelby said, yeah, we want him. And we were going to pick him up. Then her brother's girlfriend took him. And well, 6 months later, they couldn't handle Ghost. Surprise, surprise. And before you know it, Shelby called me and said, nobody wants him. They're going to take him to a shelter. Somebody's probably going to kill him. And I was like,
Nope. Not today.
what did mom say? No. But they're gonna kill him in that shelter. Nobody's gonna want him because he's high maintenance. How much? And it was like they like gave us, because he's a purebred husky. I mean, he goes for big time money. And I said, what's the rescue fee? And she told me, I'm like, do you have the money? I'll give you the money back when you get home. And they went and picked him up and came home, and there he was. So
For those who are not current, it's 10-1.
and if those are not current, that's my dog, the husky that used to, in earlier episodes of the IRP, circa about Christmas 2000 and what was that, 20 or so? Yeah,
it was
2020.
when you made your debut, that right before New Year's.
Might be 19. Was it 19?
No.
Been doing that this long.
Because 20 was all because of COVID. We started then.
Oh yeah,
August
it
of
would have
20.
been at 20 because we've had 3 Christmas episodes that I've been on, 20, 21, and 22. 23 will be the 4th.
Yeah,
So-
but we didn't start the new channel until January of.
Yeah, it was on Dave's channel. Yeah, back then. So my husky who used to come in here and interrupt us.
Interject his opinions.
Yes. I would love for an interjection right about now. But I digress.
Hold on to the memories, brother.
I hold on to him every day.
I know you do.
But there was a topic in here. Where are we? 53 minutes in?
Do we ever really talk about the topic?
True, but the good doctor was like, I wonder how long it'll take for you to get to the topic tonight. I said, well, there should be a weather forecast at minimum.
Yeah. And some sort of, again, depending on what was going on, we'd have a sporting update.
Yeah. And a diatribe by both you and myself, and Steve for that matter.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never extended the soapbox. I don't know what you're talking about.
Keep your eye on the ball there, Steve.
I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't allow me the soapbox, so I can't very well
You can
extend
take it at your leisure. It's available.
It's your thing.
It's not nailed down.
Well, I know Josh isn't watching tonight because there's that Ovechkin collection going off on MC Sports Cards. So there's a smattering tonight and some tomorrow. There's some big boy Ovi cards being auctioned off right now. I'm just perusing. There's a 9.5 Fleer Ultra. It's already at 255. Rookie.
That seems reasonable.
For a Fleer Ultra, that's pretty good. I'm curious of what it's going to go. And then there's a patch from that year. Ultra difference makers. And then there's a smattering of second year stuff. And I have my eye on a patch or a jersey piece because I don't have much of Ovi.
Mm-hmm.
I have him with is it Malcolm, Lemieux, Ovi, and somebody Tavares. It's a heart card. I think it's Lindros. Okay, now we got to look. It should be easy because Lindros. So it's Ovechkin, Lindros, Lemieux, and St. Louis. I don't know if I'll be able to get a picture of it.
Ultimate?
Prime. Panini Prime Quads Heart. Ovi, St. Louis, Eric, and Mario. Which for $40 for those 4 guys,
Yeah,
that's
that's a song.
yeah. So
Then it looked like pictures of their season that they won the Hart. Looks like a young Lindros, a very young Mew.
Lamux in St. Louis.
Let me Martin St. Louis.
Yeah, there's not many Lindros cards in there other than like I'm building that the set with the plates out of Leaf Preferred.
Yep.
So there was Lemieux, Beezer, and Lindros in the silver, and Stevie Y, and who's the wizard? That's
Steve Weiserman.
yeah. Who's the
Walt
wizard?
Williams. Walt Williams.
Wrong sport, Dave.
Hey, Dennis Northcutt just had a big catch.
That's Chris Osgood.
I was getting ready to say Ozzie Smith, but that's also the wrong sport too.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, it's Chris Osgood. I was thinking the Magic Man, which is Dotsuk.
Don Gronkowski.
That's Dotsuk. So it looks like I started that in 2022.
All right, we're coming up on an hour. So we want to act like we know what we're talking about when it comes to candy sales, Dave.
Oh, we can.
Or was that just a placeholder?
It can be in there. That I know Trista's like, oh, which? Because they said she asked what the topic was, and I said, well, we're gonna talk a little bit of Halloween candy, and then other than that, really, the usual of
Nothing.
spin the wheel, make the deal. I mean, whatever the fuck comes up. Like, well, sometimes you've got, and like, well, yes, sometimes we have something.
Of substance.
Touchdown, Steve Hayden. But I said, yeah, we'll talk about like the shittiest Halloween candy / treat / whatever the fuck you're handing out. And so that's why you saw a couple non-candy things, because I remember getting those as a kid and not being very happy. I mean, pennies, it was sort of being like, because there was a guy that gave out like pennies, but it was like 10 of them in a bag. It's like, really?
10
then-
cents.
And then you'd have the former mayor would give out like 2 quarters. So everybody
At
went
least-
to his house. So and actually 2 quarters ago. Well, back then, that's not bad. That's like, okay, at least a pack of cards. So, and then if you got raisins, that was like grounds for egging. I mean, immediately.
What year was the razor blades and what was it, cyanide or what the heck was in the candy? Was that 85 or 84?
Oh, that was way back then.
I agree, Joe. I like raisins. They're tasty.
No. I'm not. take this for what it's worth. I love raisins. Halloween isn't raisin time to time. I will get raisins. I'll get like I've got one over there, the Sun Made bigger canister. I love them. But again, if I'm going trick or treating, I don't want fucking raisins.
I want candy.
Don't tell me to eat healthy. Don't sit there and thankfully back then, people didn't have like individual like celery sticks and maybe like peanut butter, something like that. Like, oh, here you go, have a healthy snack. Fuck you. Don't hand out. If you're gonna be stupid, don't hand shit like that out. If you didn't get that as a kid, you don't need to be trying to like change the game.
Right.
Well, tonight we went. Meredith stayed back with Shelby and the baby. Me, Zach, Haley took Cease trick or treating out. But at the home base, the table had full size bars, full size candies, potato chips, all kinds of chips and Cheetos and that kind of stuff. Then they had 2 bowls of like little things of candy.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had like a Halloween type little kiddie pool type thing with waters and Capri Sun. I mean, that house was, so you either got a full bar, potato chips, or a handful of little candy and a water or Capri Sun. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying, when I was a kid, they had that whatever was in the candy that they laced it with and with the razor blades. Once that happened, where I lived, my grandfather took it upon himself to buy like 20, 30 pounds of candy at the local fire hall where he was a trustee. And he basically made you a 3-pound sack of candy. You went up to the fire hall, you marched through the town, and I'm talking a little town here. So you did your little parade right up and around with your costume. You got 1 bag of candy when you went, and then you got like chips and a Pepsi or something afterwards, and pizza.
Nothing wrong with that.
And that's all I knew. And you got cut off after 8th grade. You were cut off. You got to junior high, and that was your limitations of your
Involvement in what you could get.
Yeah. So once you hit that, but like he did Christmas too. He'd come home with all these cool gifts. I'm like, dang, which one of them are mine? Because they'd be in the closet upstairs, and none of it. It's hot. It was for the local kids every year. He made sure nobody in the town went without. He did that probably up until he was 65. But he did it for a long. I mean, he did that. The Christmas thing, he did that from the 70s, and probably up till so in the mid 90s when I left for university. So he did that for a good 25 years.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
I wish you'd have bought 80 boxes of 84 tops. Hockey. 85, 86 tops would have been lovely.
Well, baseball
Those-
would have worked too.
Yeah.
Football would have worked.
Any of those.
Any and all the above.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey, I bought some of this Fleer stuff because the candy distribution place that he used to buy from, my brother's one of his best buddies' dad worked there, and they distributed the cards too. So
Yep.
he's sitting on a bunch of boxes from back in the day, and I could just imagine if I had some of those. I remember when it was a drugstore. My uncle worked there in the 60s before he went to Vietnam. And they've always had cards, and they would never sell them all. They said when that place went out of business, my brother's buddy's dad went in there and bought every ounce of cards they had in there, box wise. He spent like $900. So $900 in today's money versus then is two different things. But the amount of stuff he came out there with, well, hashtag legend. Airy.
I gotta see this. Normally I wouldn't interrupt you, but hold on a second. Oh, this is fucking cool. It's going into the top of the 6th inning, and all the fans were giving up "I stand up for" in an empty thing, and all the players, the coaches, all the stuff have signs too, and it's all the stand up to cancer, but they're all. That's fucking cool. All the fans have them. The umpires have them. That's freaking cool. The press boxes, the freaking camera people. That's fucking badass. That they took a moment to do that. That's cool. Good for Major League Baseball. Sorry. I wanted to call that out because that was actually a cool thing.
I've seen that a couple times in sports, and I like that, and I like when they actually take more than the prerequisite, like 10 seconds to pan around and
That's like
take a while and show some people, because I mean that's a lot of this means some of it's like, okay, my grandma had it, but I really wasn't close to her, or an aunt, or so, like maybe a teacher that I had that I like, but it wasn't the greatest teacher, or a neighbor. And some people are just like, you would see they're crying because they're holding that up because that person meant so much. I mean, I've seen that, and I don't know if WWE's had that prior. I know NFL, I think they've had some of that stuff going on. I want to say NHL at a point or time had that.
well, because like the
And
NFL always does the cancer stuff with the pink towels and all that other kind of stuff. But like this was completely different. So each person was given like a sign, "I stand up for," and then they could write something in the little white thing. And all the fans in the stadium, all the players, all the coaches were in front of the dugout, had them. Ken Rosenthal had them. The camera people, like the umpires, and it was still going on. I paused it because I said I've watched every pitch of this series. I'm not going to change that. But they were spending a lot of time going through different sections of the stadium and the fans and the players and the umpires. Like that's pretty freaking cool. Like I said, good for Major League Baseball for taking the time to do that and getting the buy-in, because it almost seemed like every single fan had one, like filled out and was holding it. It was, and I mean, I could go back and maybe pick out one or two people and be like, okay, you suck. Because, and all people were standing because it's stand up to cancer. So, significant, symbolic. At the end of the day, cancer is still one of the number one or two killers in this world. And, it touches everybody at some point.
Yeah.
Every single person. It touches every single person at some point. So, anyways,
And I like that, and again, it sounds possibly callous on my end, but it's become so much with the breast cancer for October. I'm like, I just wish it was all cancer. Again, you can still have your pink, but
well,
mention
it-
others. I mean, there's your fan base.
it's based on the campaign, though. You know,
Oh, I know. I know.
stand up to cancer is everything. It doesn't matter. But you know, like Susan G. Komen focuses specifically on breast cancer. That's that's their thing, and that's usually what the NFL does, which is why it's the pink.
Oh, I know.
Why you pick one specific segment? I'm kind of with you. It's kind of, I don't want to say callous, but you know, there's a purpose, there is a meaning. It's a great cause. I'm not trying to say that, but I'm kind of like you. Like, just you can do this the Komen stuff as its own little Komen walk in its various all the cities and so on and so forth, and put focus on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because let's face it, it's a problem when it comes to freaking the number of cases and everything else. And for those who actually know anything about breast cancer, it does impact guys too.
Yep.
Um,
Ooh, God, somebody that just passed away.
not as common, but it does happen.
Oh,
But
somebody.
I'm surprised like the NFL doesn't do things not just for like breast cancer, but also the whole stand up to cancer movement and or others. And I'm sorry to say I couldn't tell you who you're thinking of, Dave, unfortunately.
Somebody that just passed away within the last couple weeks. I know they had said he had like breast cancer, like the biopsy or whatever, back in like the early 90s. God, ooh.
Well, I'd say Google it, but it's kind of hard for you to do since you know you do this from your phone. Hey, Google man.
Yeah.
Do some Googling.
Come on, Googler. Sports folks, and this will be my opportunity to jump in if we're gonna look up death. Send condolences to Adam Johnson and his family. If you haven't seen it, I recommend not watching it. But I want to say kid, but he was not a kid. 29, from up this way, born in Grand Rapids, played high school hockey at Hibbing, which is about an hour and change from me. Again, any of the communities up on the Iron Range, or you know who's who when they're doing whatever. Sports wise, usually went to UMD, won a national title there. Played for Vincenzo's Penguins briefly. Guy caught him with a skate in the throat, passed away. Basically, I'm going to say not instantly, but I mean, it was not good. And that's the one thing I will not watch, just because that stuff's for horror movies for me. I don't want to see that. There's no need to see it. I grabbed the Masabi paper today. They had a big write-up in there. Some quotes from some of his teammates. But just trying to continue the dream, live the dream of being that pro hockey player over in England. So 29, gone far too soon. So condolences to him and his family, friends, well-wishers.
All I'm getting is Richard Roundtree, the guy that played John Shaft.
Maybe it was him. So
That
maybe
was
not.
1990, October 24th, 2023.
Because that
Richard Arnold Roundtree was an American actor and model who was known for his portrayal of Private Detective John Shaft in the 71 film and its 4 sequels. The sad thing is he was only worth $2 million at his time of death, and he did some serious acting. I mean, what the heck? But it said he was
consider
it was
the time
breast
of age
cancer.
though in which he did it though.
True, but still. 72,
it's-
73.
And it's not like they showed Shaft on TV very frequently.
No, it's not in reruns constantly.
So
Like,
He was in Original Gangsters with Jim Brown. I'm just looking. I know. Trying to see movies I know of his. He was in Corky Romano.
and not to change the subject as you're still perusing, but Matthew Perry unexpectedly.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But I go back to the whole stand up to cancer thing though. Like Nathaniel Lowe for the Rangers. His mom is fighting brain cancer. I mean,
and that's why I like it stand up to cancer, not just stand up to breast cancer or whatever.
well, and that, like I said, it's the specified movement, and this one was stand up to cancer specifically,
All encompassing.
and that was a good minute of them like panning the audience and players and stuff along those lines. That was cool, very touching, very moving. Butthole.
You too, Ray.
They're watching the FNAF movie.
Oh, Freddy. Five Nights at Freddy.
Yeah. So
Five Nights at Freddy's. Let's say Freddy got fingered. That's
that's
sausage?
no.
Sausage, Daddy. Would you like some sausage?
No, that is
Right.
and the connection here to Richard Roundtree is Steel with Shaq back in '97. Now that's a classic. He
If
was
you
in.
wanna- do you really want to use that term for that?
It's iconic. Iconic.
Legendary.
You want to use those terms?
No, I don't. I'm being Jagob and trying to see. what else-
You? No,
Nah.
never you.
Trying to see anything else that
I think it might have been him that had like the breast cancer. If you look back,
that's who
Yeah,
came
that's what
up.
he was saying. Yeah, that's what he
Yeah,
was
that's
saying.
who came up. I thought he was. I didn't know he passed away.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
like you said recently, and I had seen that. And I'm like, no shit.
7 days ago. I did not see that. Usually it hits the feed and doesn't stop.
Yes, Dave mentioned Adam Johnson just a few moments ago.
Yeah, Ray. He's a guy from up my way, so seeing a lot of folks in shock. And again, a lot of names that I'm very familiar with seeing in the sports pantheon up this way. So I know talked to the gourmet guy today and said one of the Chisholm coaches I think played with him over there. And he's like, I just talked to him like 2 days before that. Texted her on the phone, and it's just like it doesn't even feel real. So just ugh. Thought that was a floating head. So who's left out of that?
John Larroquette's still alive. Marky Post is gone. Richard Mole's gone. Harry's gone. Man, let's Google it up because man, that cast is
Well, that's another thing I don't like doing. You start seeing like, oh, this person passed for like a show. When you start seeing that, it's like, well, it's not that you sit there and question your mortality at all, but
heck. When did Night Court start? 84 or 85?
was it that early?
It had to be because the lady that played Selma died in 1985 on May 13th.
No. So yeah, it's got to be what 84 then.
Marsha Warfield's still alive because she played what the heck was her name? Roz. She was the third one. And then there was the original bailiff. What was her name? Florence?
Florence Nightingale.
Only like 5 pieces, 6 pieces. I can't count.
Yeah, she played Flo. And then she died it was Selma was first. She died in 85. Then Flo came in. She died in 86. And then Roz came in.
Maybe.
She's still alive. Karen Austin was the original. She's still alive. She was the original court. What do they call those?
Stenographer.
Yeah, because then came Mac, who's Charles Robinson. He died July of 2021. So Harry's gone, Marky's gone, Larroquette's still here.
You wanna put this in one of them? Will that make you feel better? No, you already have stuff in there. No.
Yeah, basically John Larroquette's still there. And Marsha Warfield. Those are the only ones, the originals left. Well, not original, but cast members that are of prominence. It's pretty crazy because they rebooted that show. I don't know if it's still on. It was supposed to be Harry's daughter as the judge, and then she went and got Larroquette to be the public defender, which is the reverse of his role from originally. He was the prosecutor.
That's what she was just telling you. Make sure that lid and straw's with it.
Well, I know
Don't put
the
it
cup
in.
is not clean.
I
Well,
would
clean the
wash it,
cup, Steve.
but you wash the lid and the straw.
Clean the
Yeah.
cup.
That's why she.
Fuck y'all.
Were they giving you
And
shit?
Jeff, what the heck happened to Jet's pizza prices?
Telling me to watch the.
I had to allegedly sell a kidney today.
I washed the cup.
I know, but they were giving me shit to wash the cup. I was like, I didn't wash the cup. I washed the lid and the straw. So wash the cup.
Wash the cup.
They should
Shut
give
up.
a shit
Cup.
About keeping the lids and the straws.
The
with
cup needs clean. Clean the cup.
Just go. I love you too.
Clean
No,
the
go
cup.
away. Shoot.
Clean the fucking cup.
Laura,
Kiss my
clean the
fucking
cup.
ass.
If you're gonna clean the straw in the lid, fucking clean the cup. Come on, Meatloaf.
cup-
2 or 3 ain't bad.
The cup needed to be hand washed. That's why I didn't wash the cup.
We'll get to the getting, Steve. To quote Bob from last year's Christmas episode that I could recite by memory.
Really, that was quite the delay in that response there.
Because I was reading Jeff's comment about Jets pizza getting pricey.
Oh.
Used to get a bacon and pepperoni pie on Mondays for like $8.99. Now I was like, hey, I'll get me a pepperoni and sausage or pepperoni and bacon. That's what it is. Pepperoni and bacon pie round from Jets. $19.26 for a large.
Whew.
When they were on special, they were a one topping pizza for $8.99. Every additional topping was $1. So for $11.99 or what? No, $10.99. I got a bacon, sausage, and pepperoni pizza that was delectable. Ever since Eugene passed away, everything's gone to price inflationville times 12. But the pizza, when it's cooked right, Meredith, what's the original Jets location? 14 and Ryan is still the best Jets out of all of them.
Winnipeg.
Yeah. Saskatchewan. But if you get pizza from there, it's still pretty good. We got it from 13 and Hayes tonight. It was all right. Got a Detroit deep dish, which is their standard square Sicilian type pie. And it was okay. But we went from candy to pizza. That's what we do. We did not have Halloween chicken sandwiches.
I wish we did.
Well, I had left over lo mein and chicken from Panda from the other day when my aunt and uncle came to town. The easiest way to cater for like 10 people, 15 people, buy Panda. It's cheap and you get a ton of friggin' food.
And it's so good.
Yeah, I think we got orange chicken and sweet and sour chicken. And then you get a tray. I got a tray of lo mein and then another tray of half lo mein, half rice. And we've been sucking it down. Well, they said today, Jeff, no slices between 4 and 7 p.m. because you could just roll in there and get slices. And they take them, pop them in the oven for you, and they're usually outstanding. And today they had on a sign, 4 to 7, no slices. We're sorry for the inconvenience. A party tray was $49.10, I believe, today, which is basically 16 cut. I think there's 32 slices in a party tray. Maybe 24. I'm not sure. But it hurts. I'd rather go to Buscemian's and get their party tray, which is, I think, 24 slices, and it's Sicilian pizza. It's good. It's less Detroit deep dish and more Sicilian, which I enjoy because I like pizza, if you can't tell.
Do you like pizza? What? No, I didn't know that.
I could eat it probably every day and not get tired of it, as long as it's a different spot every day.
Mhm.
Pizza. Or you can buy the Buscemi sauce in the store, throw that on a shelf from Kroger, throw some cheese on there. It's a good.
I'd throw more than cheese on there.
Well, we'll be basic.
Can't. I know.
I usually get bacon bits and pepperoni is what I like. It's hard to-
Mushrooms, peppers, and then
That-
some kind of hot, like pork or Italian sausage.
Meredith, that's what Meredith usually puts. Cease likes the mild peppers on hers, and Meredith likes the mushrooms. Where I don't need any fungus or anything else. I like the carnivorous pizzas. Just not a ton of the what they like to do. They like to fill them up with the beef, ground beef, don't do that. No, don't be that guy. Don't fill your pizza up with beef.
No.
I used to like what's Pizza Hut's thin crust meat lovers when it's on sale.
That was a good one.
That's a good one. So was their regular pan meat lovers. Uh-oh.
FNAF movie, 10 out of 10. Springlock failure, 10 out of 10. That was awesome.
Now go to bed. It's 10
No, I heard there was something special in the credits. They have the Five Nights at Freddy's song playing.
Here it is.
Oh, hold on. What is it?
Bye.
I'm glad it's on Peacock so I can watch that pretty much whenever.
I don't know what did you guys watch it on Netflix?
No, Peacock.
Oh,
So, hold on. So
there you
Giant's
go,
like,
Dave.
he's
Hold
like,
on.
why do I always get the weird?
So she wants to say something and then mutes.
He wants to say something and mutes her.
I think they need to let the dogs out, but I thought it was kind of funny that she was talking and wanting to say something and he just on mute.
Completely just shut that down.
I don't think that was the intention because it wasn't computing.
Cannot compute.
Error.
Error.
Ay, ay, ay.
So he's on the bathroom. So basically, there's the bus driver, or not the bus driver, the taxi boy. I have a complaint to Scott. He made one of my favorite childhood YouTubers. They replaced him apparently, like word for word, line for line, sentence for sentence. He's like, why do I always get the weirdos? And then at the very end of the credits, so he's like, can't you see the sign? Then there's this little like tiny thing, maybe about the size of this pop can. There's this tiny little balloon boy. He pops up, just scares the crap out of him, and that's it. It's really funny. I recommend for all the FNAF fans, even if you're not a FNAF fan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now you can go to bed.
10 out of 10. 5-star rating. No, 1,000 million.
We thought we'd get a C-School and Ebert moment tonight.
Oh, and look at Vinny representing.
Well, I had it on last week, and then I had to do something, and I got something on it, and I was like, crap. And then I was going to have C wear hers and jump on, but she was out cold last week. So that did not occur.
Yeah, mine's still hanging up in my closet. I didn't even worn it yet.
I've worn mine 4 or 5 times. I got the Puck Junk podcast one from Sal Berry. He does that podcast with a guy from Pittsburgh, Tim Parrish. I listen to that every week. And what's funny is they get like 23 or 24 views on YouTube, but they apparently get a ton more on like Spotify or something because there's no video. It's just the background and them talking. Sort of like some of Carlos's episodes where he just does the background.
Well, it's
The placeholder or whatever, and then
Yeah.
Kicking It With the Crew is only on. It's a normal podcast. It's just them talking, so there is no video.
Yeah.
Like
I like to see like the pictures on Instagram where, hey, new episode up, and you see like wherever they're sitting at, and that's it. That's not a video. It's
Where
still
can you listen to that at?
just
I listen-
type in.
Spotify.
Uh,
That's where I listen.
Okay.
I don't know where I end up listening to. I just type it into my Google search bar and listen to
Oh.
whatever, click whatever, and pull it
Gotcha.
up that way.
Take it off.
But
Brush your teeth.
the Puck Junk podcast, you can get it on YouTube, and they do the opening reviews for all the when cards are released, and that's who I met him at National because I listened to the podcast, and then he's gonna be at Expo here, but he's out of Chicago.
When did you meet him?
When you guys were going to see TD, C and I went past his booth, and I was just checking it out for some Lemieux because I knew he had hockey.
Yeah.
I found him I found where he was going to be the night before, and I searched down that. But and I was watching a couple of the reviews of the last expo, and a lot of guys said there's some serious wax there if you're a wax guy. So this makes me excited for next fall.
If we can make it work.
We can do it.
Like I said, we have a preliminary possibility. Requires a lot more conversation and planning, but it's
But I
it's
think-
a high
I think-
probability.
I was gonna say, I think the main goal of it is the reason why we need to do it as soon as we have to.
Yeah.
And shockingly, once again, not for cards or anything else that's quote unquote expo related,
Yeah.
other than other than people being within a certain distance of said expo. So
Correct.
Yeah.
And I was going to try to go this time, but I had the days. I took them off, but it's championship week for the boys, so they play semifinals Saturday at 3:30. If they beat Albion, then we have to wait till Sunday. If Chattanooga wins, we have to go to Chattanooga. If Chattanooga loses to Flower City has to come to Michigan, and we play on the 11th.
what the hell is Flower City?
Flower City Union's out of New York.
When we win.
When we win, thank you, better half.
Throwing it out to the universe.
Yeah, manifest, like the kids say, manifest that sucker into the universe. So we got to play Albion, San Diego. They can't just say Albion or San Diego. It's got to be Albion, San Diego. It's annoying.
Haven't y'all played them like in the championship though? The last
We
two
played
years?
last year. We played Albion in the championship, and we
That's
beat
what I
them 1-0. But the team we got now with Tomas, he can move that ball and up the middle. Just feed it to Leon all day and just
What was that again?
shoot him
Okay.
right in.
I was just making sure I got that.
Some noises should not be made.
Yeah, just feed the ball to Leon and just bang 3 in, and then play keep away the rest of the game. Because they can do
Since-
that.
Since we haven't touched on the subject, anybody want me to open a mosaic? Value?
Why,
pack?
yes, we do.
If you've got one to spare,
There's only 5 there.
What year is
So-
those?
That's this year's.
Okay.
Everybody pick a number between 1 and 5, and we'll see which one gets the most votes. Since there's only 5 people watching. What was that? You were going to go with 1. I saw that originally. Okay, so Dave says 4. What are you going to go with, Dave? Or Vinny? 2. So we got to vote for 2 and 4.
And you know it's winter. I
So
got
Joe
winner
says
hands
5.
already.
So we got 1 vote for 2, 4, and 5. We need more than 3 people to vote.
Well, whatever numbers other than 1 and 3, you open that one. The one that's not voted for is the one you end up opening.
At this rate, that may be what happens.
Or you could take what is it? The
Meredith, pick a
ag-
number, 1 or 3.
3.
1 it is, Steve. 1 it is.
All right. So 1 being the top. Thank you to
Because
Thank
all the other ones lost. I said 3, Dave said 4, Joe said 5.
No, you said 2, Vinny. Come on.
I said 2, Joe said 5, Dave said 4. So we took the one that the 4 people that answered didn't do. So 1 is the answer.
So I'm not going to focus much on the base, but hey,
Always 3.
Javante, I'll take that for base. Oh shit! Texas just hit another home run. Is that Jonah? 11-1. Peyton base, Hall of Fame. Rookies. Let's see. We got Jake Moody. I have no idea who that is.
Kicker.
I'll take that. Bijan. That goes technically into the UTPC. Lawrence Taylor Mosaic. We got a green of Mark Andrews. And a pink of Dallas Goddard. What up, Ed? That'll go to Ed at some point. Pink of Joey Bosa. So, Dave, you're not officially done, but I'll throw that in your stuff. Kirk Broken Cousins. Epic Performers of Sauce Gardner. And we got a silver of Jake Hayner.
Fresno State quarterback, I think 5th round pick for the Saints.
So,
The old Aints.
not too shabby of a. Because you get 3 pinks. You're not guaranteed a silver or a mosaic. So can't complain. We'll put the Bosa in Dave's stack. We'll put the Goddard in Ed's stack. The other rookies, inserts, and parallels will go in the other stack. And my Broncos stuff will go in their own, and the base goes stuffed in a box.
Steve Hayden just scored his 3rd touchdown of the game. That was coming off of a Chad Johnson, and I remember this interception because he had it, and when he went up to go back, he dropped it and it kicked off his feet into Andre Davis's arms for an interception. It was down to the 1 to set that up. Now it's 48-44 Cleveland with 10 minutes left in the 4th. So
yeah, that's a hell of a high scoring game.
well, I remembered one in 07 that they scored a ton, but that was Sands Northcutt because I think he was in Jacksonville in 06. But yeah, to see the wide array of talent and being oh man, how many people were actually going in fantasy? It'd be Carson Palmer, Rudy Johnson, Chad Johnson, Hushmanzada. And after that, I don't know if anybody would have had anyone playing on Cleveland. Holcomb, Andre Davis, Northcutt, Hayden, and William Green was the running back. So
So this is an interesting comparison. As
What's up,
Pete
Daphne?
as Pete as comes in, perfect timing. October Legends postseason comparison. 77 games, 19 to 18 home runs, 48 RBIs for both. Corey Seager and Mr. October,
Derek
Reggie
Jeter.
Jackson.
What about Derek
Reggie,
Jeter?
no, Reggie Jackson.
Corey
So
Seager,
in other
Corey Seager,
words,
Corey Seager.
they're potentially saying that Corey Seager is the current Mr. October.
Current, maybe.
That's why I use the terminology. But remember, same amount of games. Corey has one more home run than Reggie did, but the same number of RBIs, same total number of games. So there's still the possibility of 3 more games to be played, which means Corey will play a few more games than Reggie.
But
That's pretty big company, man.
but there won't be in October.
This is true. This is true. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I saw the slow turn. I've seen that before, once or twice.
But I mean,
Not allegedly.
so far, like it's amazing the number of records that have been broken in this postseason.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Texas winning 9 on the road, being undefeated on the road. That's a record. You have Ketel Marte, 20-game hitting streak in the postseason. You have Corey Seager, first shortstop to hit 3 home runs in a World Series. And there's others. Freaking Garcia in the 22 RBIs during the postseason, the most ever. Like so many, and that yes, there's a lot that focus on the Rangers, but it's not just the Rangers. It's Arizona has had some as well. The first team in World Series history to have 5 stolen bases, 3 sacrifice bunts, and so it's just amazing to see these 2 teams that should have never been here in the first place are making history, even though they weren't supposed to be here. So it adds another layer of dimension to the overall series itself. But I just thought I'd rattle that off since go figure, Paul comes in at the time in which this comes up on the TV screen.
Rudy Johnson, 8-yard touchdown. He's got 24 for 206 and 2 touchdowns.
Jeez.
Pending PAT, 50 to 48.
That's freaking crazy.
So every once in a while, I like those games where it's just like no defense. I don't care. I can't watch Pittsburgh-Baltimore 10-6 games all the time. Unless I'm not sleeping at night.
Right.
Then
I was at the 51-48 or 51-49 game. Denver versus Dallas.
I saw that game. I saw that pop up on the old because I think I went through like the highest scoring games. Somebody on YouTube. Again, I have no idea who it was. Nobody within our community, but had like the top scoring game for the last decade plus, and that was obviously one of them. So watching that, I'm like, God, I don't remember any of that. Some of these games, I'm like, okay, this has a play I remember. This has a play I remember. A lot were like, no clue.
That was a strike that they freaking blew the call on. Sorry. Not that it matters. It's 11-1. And it's the bottom of the 8th inning. Like, not
And
right
if
there.
you got the Cattell Marte taco fracture, you've got
Tacos, free tacos for life.
yep.
And speaking of Cattell Marte, he's the one up to bat. Talk about coincidence. I think we all kind of had an idea exactly what that thing was going to be. Because that would be the only thing that would make sense. And, you know, it's Taco Bell's, you know, steal a base, steal a taco
Yep.
during the World Series. That's been a thing for a few years now. It just, you know, it's a different dynamic. And some of those damn cards, as we all know, sold for a pretty penny. But nobody knew exactly what it was. But if you thought about it, I mean, that to me would make sense. On the grandest stage, it's a taco fractor, first person to steal a base. I wouldn't expect it for life. I mean, that's something that I wouldn't expect. Free tacos for a year.
Yep.
You know, that's kind of what I would, what I was kind of thinking. But, you know, free tacos for life. That's a lot of fucking tacos. So, Dave, why didn't you go and snag the Cattell Marte taco fractor?
Well, I know Ed had said, God, who the hell was it? Some Sosa went for like $300 for the Phillies.
Yes.
Eduardo Sosa, maybe.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's
like,
kind of I think that was
okay.
Mike O who said it.
One of the two Phillies. not throwing any shade towards Ray from Philly, but I know that it comes up more with Michael and Ed with that stuff. But yeah, I'm not spending $300. And again, the payoff is obviously great. You can make that especially if you've got a Taco Bell in your town of residence.
But nobody knew exactly what it was going to be. I mean, they held that until it happened.
Which is obviously smart.
What
Kelly
makes you
Holcomb-
wonder, though, is has the Cattell Marte actually been pulled?
Oh, I'm sure.
But they're not one of ones. Aren't they numbered to like 5? Or are they one of ones?
I don't even know if they're numbered.
Like I didn't think that they were serial numbered, but you know, it almost
Like an SPR 5 or whatever.
yeah, the like a stated print run type situation.
Kelly Holcomb, 23 of 29, 325, 5 touchdowns and an interception.
Shit.
And then Antonio Bryant, 7 for $118, 2 touchdowns. So him and Steve Hayden have all the reception touchdowns, of course.
Well, yeah, because didn't you say Hayden had 3?
Northcutt had one, but bobbled it just a slight bit. So they took that off the board early on.
So what's the final score of this game supposed to be?
I think it's what it is right now, 51-48. I don't think Cleveland scores again. Or if it's not, it's like 50. If it's 58-48, it's going to be like a pick 6 or something. If I remember right. Again, this is, Christ, 19 years ago.
Well, yeah, you said 2004, so
And approximately to the day. Somewhere in the, it might have been a week before, like today.
today being the 31st, right? That's what you're alluding
Correct.
to. Okay. I was just making sure. that I was fully understanding what you were stating.
So candy wise, what was something we looked forward to back in our heyday, and even now? That if we're scoping out our youth's treat haul.
Well, Reese's, of course, is number one because I'll throw them in the freezer. We know this. I've
Correct.
said that many a times. I'll stay on the chocolate front, but Snickers, Baby Ruth, Reese's probably my top three. I like a Heath bar on occasion because it's different. I know a lot of people doesn't like toffee, but it's good for a change every once in a while. If I go outside of that realm, I know this is probably going to be a weird surprise, but I love lime green Tootsie Rolls.
That's not. I'm the flavored ones. I'm a big proponent of.
Yeah, lime, and I like the other flavor. I'll eat the orange, the lemon, the strawberry. I like them all.
Cherry.
Oh, cherry. You're right. Green. I'm a green person.
Yeah.
What my wife ended up getting at the last minute actually has now and laters. So green apple, of course, I love, but it's good. It's got banana now and laters. Good shit. At least for me.
I don't mind them, but I feel that they're they populate the bag with too many of them.
They do because they're small, so they can get away with adding more because it adds to the weight of the bag. So,
And what are a couple things back in the day that you hated to see amongst your treasures of treats?
anything licorice related. I hate licorice. I'll eat Twizzlers on occasion. And yes, there's the ever growing debate of is Twizzlers actually licorice? Well, it is because it's got licorice in it, but it's not full blown licorice. So any sort of licorice related type stuff, some of the off brand random just cheap shit, like nothing's coming to mind as far as like what that would be.
Like those Mary Janes that I've got in the placeholder, those peanut butter kisses or cups, or like it was in the black and the orange, like the wax paper. And it was like the little, almost like a saltwater taffy looking thing.
Yeah, yep, those not a big fan of. They were always wrapped in orange or black wax paper. What else? Nothing against religious people, but like religious pamphlets. Used to get those a lot when I was a kid, because of the neighborhood that I would go to. And like I said, nothing against religious people. I'm a spiritual person.
Well, no, for Halloween you want treats and goodies and not
But
fucking
that's what I'm.
This is the devil's holiday. No, it just settle down.
That's
Settle
what I'm
down.
getting at. I want candy.
Yeah.
I want candy.
I want candy.
Let's see. Was there anything else that I just couldn't like stand? There outside of the two things that I mentioned, like I could like pretty much I would enjoy almost all of it. Too many suckers were always a problem to me. Whether they be Tootsie Roll Pops or Dum Dums and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Dum Dum count was just too great.
Yeah, that's the only other thing that I could think of.
Move, move.
Vinny's showing the bag. Dave, from you.
We saw a few in the placeholder. Those stupid Necco wafers. I hated them. The Mary Jane things that I talked about, because the peanut butter on the inside, it was like a crumbly, like a dried peanut butter, and you're like, oh, that's a treat. The raisins, the bags of pennies. The one I hate the most, and Trista sort of gasped at it, and I know Naomi said, what? Milk duds. I fucking hate milk duds. You can throw that shit in the fucking garbage. Just trash. Favorites, peanut butter cups. I love Starburst. Skittles. If people had saltwater taffy, I was a big proponent of that. The Tootsie Rolls, I don't like the brown ones. Well, again, too, I'm going back to our time. I mean, if the trolley stuff now, and like if somebody had Albanese, I've seen those, the small little Albanese bags of the gummy bears. It's like, yeah, but we unfortunately didn't have that back in the day. And Trista had said too about like the coconut Neapolitan thing, but I'm like, well, that was more of a, I won't say holiday like Christmas time. That was more of like you went to the grocery store. They had the little lockbox where you put the quarter in. You got like 3 pieces of candy. I said that's one of my favorites. That and the jelly nougats, but I don't remember ever getting those on Halloween. Kit Kat, huge fan of Kit Kats. I can mow through a bag of those pretty quick. Like you, licorice, it didn't jump out to me. I like the bigger bags of licorice. The red vines are good. But like when you got the smaller little individual pieces, it was almost like too tough jerky. It just, you're sitting there and chewing like a cow chews on cud. There it is. There's the pick six at the end of the game. I knew it. There we are. There's our 58-48.
You called it, but you already knew.
Well, Mounds, Almond Joy, love them. Wasn't a
Gross,
big.
'cause I hate coconut.
Oh, coconut's so good.
Now, but I can drink a pina colada. Go figure.
What a shock. Stunning turn of events. Not. Oh, those stupid caramel apples. I could fucking do without them. I mean, it's a big. You're like, oh man, it's a big treat, but no, I'm good. And then the popcorn balls, I'm also good with that. I will throw those in the bushes and continue on my merry way.
Those were a staple growing up. For Christmas,
Well, ain't this a bitch?
Popcorn
It's now,
balls.
it's now 11-5. Bottom of the 8th, 2 outs.
Hershey's bars, I did not care for at all. Just the regular Hershey bar. When it was like a Mr. Good bar, the Crackle, what else? Was an almond one in that grouping.
Yep, the almond ones. I ate one
And-
yesterday.
And that's more on the I don't care for, but again, I'm indifferent basically. But trying to think, I'm sure there's more. Trista said she didn't like Whoppers. I've said every once in a while I don't mind them. I mean, it's got to be like twice a year, maybe. Fruit snacks, always people had fruit snacks and they handed them out. That was always a plus. especially if it was like Gushers or something like that. But that really didn't happen in our day. It was always straight candy, straight specific Halloween candy. Three Musketeers, I love that. Milky Way, unlike Steve, Snickers would not be a top 20 for me. Same with like the Baby Ruth, the 100 Grand.
I didn't even know we bought this. So Reese's Pumpkins, Reese's Bats, Witch's Brew Kit Kats, and Hershey's Cookies and Cream.
There's a reason you didn't know we bought those. They weren't yours.
Well, whatever. Exactly, Dryden. Thank you for the warning. I'm not going to sit here and eat candy all night. I'm good. I know. I second that. Exactly, Dryden.
What about you, Vinny? What are your most liked? Go with the most disliked ones first.
Probably Reese's Pieces. A good Snickers bar. I like 100 Grand. A Heath bar is tasty.
I don't know whatchamacallit.
Whatchamacallit. Better
But
half
see-
hit on the freaking head. I love a whatchamacallit candy bar. When we're like
And a Take 5.
a Take 5 too. I like a Take 5. She knows me. Like when we're on like when 1 second.
Go off a video for a minute while he's still not on mute. Lovely.
Okay, Whoopi.
Yeah. Oh,
No, I'm
hair's been
talking.
on my head since 1996. Nah, circa 2002.
I'm not talking candy overall. I'm talking Halloween time. I love
Yes.
watching the call-outs too, but I don't remember ever seeing like
No, I've never seen like I
a
like
fun size or whatever you call them, the fun size bar.
I was showing them I didn't show them the inside contents.
What the hell is this?
I guess we're doing a show and tell now. What else? I mean, they were. I mean, wow. That's some serious candy in there.
See, I tried that. I'm not a fan, and I love mostly anything Reese's. See, that's the gold.
It's like she's doing the top 10 stuff that's in there.
There you go, Dave. There's the other one.
You know my daughter. She's gonna anytime they got there. It's either regular Lay's or Cheetos.
The,
Or the Puffs.
worst Halloween candy ever.
Double.
That's
bubble.
another one. Any of that old shit.
Yeah, it's like let's get let's get nostalgic.
Oh, here's another bad one too.
Oh no, those aren't bad every once in a while. We were
See,
just
again, that was like one.
Robert
Oh,
likes.
here's another one that's bad.
Yeah, Dave doesn't like those. We just
Ah,
discussed.
fuck those. Fuck them.
Yeah, I totally.
Robert
agree.
likes Whoppers, so we've been told.
Zero. I don't mind that, Jeff.
Another
Again,
one that can go in the garbage.
Yeah,
oh, love.
he hates coconut. What's a zero bar?
That's Canadian.
Nice.
It's that white chocolate. Kit Kats are the greatest. Next to Reese's peanut butter cups. The silver wrapper there, Vinny.
Gotta have those.
I just
Those are good.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, Jeff. Those are good every once in a while. I've had
And-
those.
You gotta have those.
Steve loves Twizzlers.
Said
Yeah.
nobody.
Oh, why anybody would ever hand out this?
All those are so good back in the day. That's one nostalgic candy I do like.
Sure.
Can't go wrong with nerds. We're talking candy, then we're going to talk horse. So we're
What did you
going.
say?
You heard me.
No, we're already at 2 hours and 10 minutes. It's almost time to wrap us up.
No, we have to talk about the horse. We have to. Jolly Rancher lollipops.
Yeah.
No, it keeps people wanting to come back when it's brought into the subject matter. And then
Yep, Starburst, especially if it's the pink one. Pink or the
Yeah.
These are the pink ones.
Those are good.
I was to say that or the cherry. See,
No,
I'm
He's a
terrible.
snob. He won't
I
eat
know.
anything but
I
Albanese.
have the good bag in my bedroom or in my office. Gotta have the Tootsie Pops.
Yep, Tootsie Pops are good.
Oh no. This is nostalgia. The Dum Dums.
Well, those are. The kid
they're
always
just
wanted
they're
them.
overdone. That's the
Oh
problem.
God! All the time. That's all you see.
That's the issue. Because they're so cheap. and
Maybe
you
they're
can get
trying
so
to
many.
tell you guys something.
Tell us what.
I don't know, Dum Dums.
There's no dum dums here.
Okay. Yeah, the rest is repeat.
Nothing else worthy.
Nothing else like great.
Hunter-
Wow, these are old.
Sweet tarts on occasion I can do, but those are the ropes, so they're not the same.
Yeah, those are the ropes. I didn't realize it was a rope until I showed you.
Anything with nougat in there?
No, there's nothing.
She picked most of her candy, so I think she got that because she thought it was fangs, like for the teeth. But
Yeah,
she's not a chocolate person, so
no, she's not gonna eat any of this.
most of the time
anyway.
she was picking
Oh. Here we go.
Baby Ruth.
Whoops. There's not even like 100 grand in here. That's usually like the staple of.
Was there any other big bars in there? Or
No.
was that it?
Dave, what you got?
I got nothing.
Yeah, there's no like sweet tart. Oh,
Yeah, let's say sweet tarts and spree, and then
Rolos.
One
Not
Rolo.
rollers are good.
Yeah, Rolos are good.
Steve, what do you got?
I got
Lots
nothing.
of Snickers, lots of Reese's. Oh my gosh, someone was actually giving out these little individual ones.
Yes. See.
But your good bars are good.
But that's like old school because you don't see that stuff anymore. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's just like I said, a lot of repeats.
Oh, that's what she has in her office.
That's what I have in my office that nobody's allowed to touch.
Yeah, she's a snob for them too. She won't no more
Those
hair,
are the best.
no more Haribo, no more Black Forest. It's all Albanese. Look at
Stop.
Dave, feel him like a child.
The Black Forest, I think the organic, they are close to being these. They are very good.
He clutches it like a child.
I know. I was just gonna say, is that your love pillow, Dave? Go ahead, Steve.
He's
I
like-
know you're waiting. I can see the smirk on your face.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
I'm gonna hold it and squeeze it and pet it.
Call it George.
My George.
Oh God.
That wasn't on the bingo card, was
Oh.
it? No.
I hope there was.
Hold on.
Take that, lowest rung.
Well, if your baseball cards weren't all over
Wow.
the table, they wouldn't get orange pop on them.
Well, that's because my office is.
These are the best barbecue potato chips.
What kind are those?
If you like barbecue potato chips.
What? What did you say?
If you like barbecue potato chips.
Oh, yeah, if you're human.
No.
I like the Old Dutch
The what?
Old Dutch barbecue potato chips.
I don't think we have those in Michigan.
That might be just like a North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, maybe Illinois.
Oh, I don't know. You'll have to send Anthony some.
Because I like that flavor just because it's completely different than Lay's. Completely different.
Well, that's why I like Better Made. And you guys may not have Better Made. It's a Michigan product.
No, I don't think I've seen them. I mean, we have the usual, like, again, Doritos or Lay's, and then for us, yeah, ours is like the kettle chips. I'm trying to think what we have up here. We have Uglies, but that's like a national brand. Later Baz. The Hers brand.
Yeah, I've had those, but the only one in Better Made that's actually good is the barbecue potato chips. The regular potato chips aren't salty enough, and they taste like crap.
The worst. I hate that.
Allegedly.
Did you just use our nomenclature?
Well, I don't want someone to read this or see this and then start complaining. Quit bidding on stuff. You have enough crap. You cannot bid on anything else on eBay until you clean up the kitchen and the living room of all your baseball cards.
Hockey cards. We're good. I'm aware. Thank you. I was being facetious. Sorry.
No, you were being a smartass.
Yes, that's what I was doing. And if you caught me, I just dropped the MF bomb 2 minutes ago when I dropped a bunch of stuff off the floor. So you got the not so soft side of the stairs.
It's okay.
Can't say I heard that.
All over 'em.
Yeah, that was the one box that got wet yesterday that they were in sleeves, so they were saved. So to my right here, all the top loader boxes, I took 5 boxes of top loaders that were wet and
Can you
condensed
text them?
them. Yep. Anywho,
Wrap us up, Dave.
First, we have to hear Vinny. What didn't you like? Did we not hear that, or did we? Candy wise, what did you hate?
I don't even know what I hated candy wise. What don't I like candy wise?
Bottle caps.
Bottle caps were okay. My mother loves Necco wafers.
Those are awful.
She loves them things. I remember Dave said it a couple minutes ago, and I had to interject with my mother loves those things because she grew up. I guess that was the best candy available. And she seconds your anything with coconut, Steve.
Root beer bottle caps were good.
No,
I like those things where they were
Pop Rocks
wax.
were the best.
Pop rocks were good.
You're talking about the little
You-
pop
Like
bottles?
Nick,
You grab the
Nickel-
pop. Yeah, they were wax, and you bite them off, and they were filled with the juice. Those were good.
Nickel Lip or Nickel, whatever it was.
Yeah. The penny candy store. There was literally a penny candy store back in the day, and you go in there. Dots were good too.
That's on the paper where you
Yeah.
had more paper than you did sugar.
Yeah, you ate more. Yeah, you ate more paper than sugar.
That might have been on the placeholder. The stupid paper candy dot things.
Those were big at the movie theater.
Garbage.
They gave them to you for free. Here, you got a pocket. You want some of these dots that we have 3.7 million sheets of? Take some of those for free, kids.
You want some sugar paper?
Yeah, sugar paper. It's double-sided. You get them on both sides.
The other one I didn't like, and again, this isn't even like Halloween candy. It was the you got the pouch? You got the pouch and you got the 4 white sugar sticks.
Yeah. Fun dips.
Yep, fun dip.
Pure sugar. Just it was a bigger chunk than Pixie sticks. It was the same fucking deal. It's just like, no, I'm good.
Oh, just so everybody knows, the MC Sports Card auction tonight, I got absolutely leveled.
Butterfinger wants to know too.
Butterfinger. Right.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Steve. This one was like $18 for the last 2 days. Last minute, it went. I was just about to bid on it. It's a 3-color Ovi patch out of 75. This little beaut right there.
125.
$100 even. So I will try my hand at another one. I want to get a nice patch. Sid stuff is cheap right now. I'm not a big Sid fan. Wasn't a big Sid fan. I'm a bigger Sid fan now than I was before. And the other day, 2 simple jersey cards, $8 a piece. Game used stuff. I'm like, okay, I will buy this because, frankly, I think when he retires and 5 years later, he is going to be Hall of Fame, and everybody's going to shoot. I should have bought some Sid stuff.
Yeah.
It's like no one thinks of anybody right now except McJesus, and that's it. He is hockey, and Bedard.
Wait till Series 2 comes out. That'll be $8 million a box.
Well, it's like pre-sales 200 Canadian, I think. Let's see
What? That's what, 160 us?
Yeah. Or maybe
So
it's 200. Maybe it's 200 US. I have to look here. Momentito, please. Garner Bedard. Let's see what his. I want to see how many games he's played.
Probably the prerequisite 7 or 8, somewhere in there. Whatever they played, I'm sure he's.
Well, his contract is 3 years, $13.35 million. He's a whopping. They say he's 5'10". Okay. Let's see what his stats are. Do 4 games played, 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points, tied for 116th place. So he's played how many games?
They had to play more than 4. Christ.
No, yeah, it's usually I see games first. He has 4 goals and 2 assists with 6 points, and he's a -5. So he isn't doing Ugats. He's off right now.
Not to change the subject, but Arizona had a pinch hitter who just walked in the bottom of the 9th.
What's the score, Dave or Steve?
It's 11-5 Texas, bottom of the 9th. But Jordan Lawler, never heard of the kid, but he's from Carrollton, Texas, which is where I grew up.
Yeah, I've heard of Jordan Lawler.
He's one of the big prospects. I mean, you hear like Corbin Carroll again. That was the previous wave of him, Alec Thomas, and then God, there's somebody else amongst them. But Lawler was like the guy that's their number one rated prospect, I believe, coming into the year after all the other guys got called up last year.
And it's 9 games, Dave. Bedard's 6 points, 9 games, which is better than Lafreniere. So, but I don't think it's they said he was going to average a point a game. Razzles. I remember Razzles. Okay. Jeff, those were good.
Zots. I like the old Zots.
Let me see what Zots are and remind my brain.
Oh, you remember the packaging. They're individually, but like in a snake. There's about 6 of them. They had that crackly, fizzy stuff in the middle. It was like the Christmas candy, like that, the hard candy flavors, like a grape.
Oh, those are good too.
Grape, orange, cherry, blue raspberry. We still have those at the store, so every once in a while we'll pick a few up and like, oh, so good.
I like every once in a while I like something. I like lemon lime stuff. And there's not too much lemon lime stuff you can find. I found this candy from Italy that I was hoping, but it's not. It doesn't have that pronounced. It's that candy I gave you at National. Remember, it was from Italy.
The candy National.
It just didn't. It doesn't have that je ne sais quoi to get your taste buds rolling. It's not potent enough. It's a hint of lime, hint of lemon, and I think the other one was passion fruit.
Which I'm not. If it's lime, it's gonna, for me, taste like cherry or not cherry Kool-Aid, lime Kool-Aid.
Yeah, exactly.
Now everything's gone away from lime because people didn't like it or whatever the case, and it's watermelon now.
Either that or sour apple. Because what was lime and went to sour apple?
Skittles.
Skittles. It was Skittles. Went from to sour apple because everybody likes sour apple. Don't mess with my citrus flavors. Orange, lemon, lime.
Yeah.
Grape, strawberry. Rest of the stuff you can have.
Yeah, you can still have lime and you can make a dark green and have your sour apple too. Instead of getting rid of one of the best flavors. Because some idiots don't like it.
Don't tell the better half I won something. Actually, one of my low ball bids actually paid off. So now I have an OV piece because I didn't have any other than that one guard. I'll take that for $22 in a PSA grade 8. So PSA 8 for the grade 8. 06 second year trilogy. Is it even numbered? I don't think it's numbered. It's not. Who cares? I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, it was like, who cares if it's not numbered?
Yeah. It's like, see, here's the thing. What's left that's game used other than hockey? A $7 billion product from Topps?
Some baseball is still game used,
but not as much as it used to be. Hockey did go away from in Series 1. You used to be able to get jersey pieces. There's no jersey pieces in flagship anymore. And I don't recall if there's any in Synergy. I know there's an SPX Ultimate, but for hockey, Ultimate patches, they live up to the Cup. There's Cup patches. There's an Ultimate 05, 06 Lemieux going off right now, numbered to 35. I think I have the regular one that's not numbered. Then I have one to 75, and this is the 35. It's a freaking gorgeous card, but it's already above my pay scale. I don't think I'll be bidding on it because I have one, it's the same design other than what's in the patch window. It's gorgeous, but
No, it'll be interesting to see too the ones I showed you the other day, see where they go.
yes.
And that stuff is ugh. When there's not even a day that's gone by in the auction and you're already priced out, and it's a 7-day auction.
Yeah. Here it is. It's at $188 right now. What a patch.
Yeah, that's
Yep, 0506 Ultimate Collection premium patch to 35. It's at $187.50 right now, which outbids my $5. That was my placeholder bid.
and quickly destroyed.
I will agree with my brother about karma, and it is what it is. It'll eventually come my way. If I really want it, I'll manifest it into the universe, like the kids say, and I will get my card. But until then, it is what it is. Dryden. Is it a final score in a baseball game yet?
What do you need for tonight?
Yes. Still the bottom of the ninth. Will Smith drew a walk in a single, struck out the last two in Marte and Corbin Carroll, and they just brought in Leclerc.
Who's Will Smith playing for? To Arizona?
No, for Texas.
Okay, so you guys got him from the Dodgers.
Well, he was I don't know where he came from, but he was our closer. And
Well, I gave you his rookie card last year. You should remember.
I don't fucking really.
I think you need to study the Christmas episode a tad bit more, Steven.
I'm sorry, I don't watch it, twice a day.
Twice a week, not twice a day. I'm trying to get that thing up to 365 views by the time we have the Christmas episode, but I don't think I'll get there. It's hard sometimes listening and hearing Ghost. So some days I'm in the mood. 2 weeks ago, I was in the mood for it. And I watched it like 3 times, and I haven't watched it since.
Come on, I want this game to be over. Runners on second, third, 2 outs, 2-2.
Yeah, Smith, I think, was either on Houston or the Dodgers.
Shit. There's 2 more runs. It's now 11-7.
This is not turning out to be good right now.
So yeah, we won't go live tomorrow. It's up 11-1, and then it's like a leaky faucet. Keep trickling in.
Well, Bochy's was putting out his lower end kind of guys too.
Well, as you should in that situation, just because you got a 10-run lead, piecemeal. You knew a piecemeal game to begin with, as we mentioned earlier.
Well, Haney was freaking phenomenal. Went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, I think.
But you want him possibly available for maybe game 6? Not necessarily to start, but just...
No, because we have Evaldi up next, and then Montgomery, and then.
But I mean,
would be 7 if
it's sort of like Bumgardner with the Giants against who was it, the Royals that year. It's like just in case whatever your best pitcher is, you want to make sure.
They'd go with John Gray.
Oh, but I mean, just if he's doing that well, and your bullpen's been spotty at best, to have him come in and, hey, if you get 3 outs within 12 pitches, and it's like, okay, we're not pulling you, and you do it again, it's like, okay, ride until you start to see a crack in the armor. It's like, well, why not?
Oh, come on. I hate 2-out singles, especially off our closer. Over. 11-7 final. Up 3 games to 1. Shouldn't have allowed that many runs, but I'll take it. It's a win. And the offense finally came alive. But shut us down, Dave.
Well, thank you for watching, contributing, listening to our just random diatribes.
Something
No
we do
reason.
best.
That's correct. Remember, next week we will have a guest of specialness joining us, so stay tuned for that. Remember, since everybody seems to be pushing for it, especially one guy that claims somebody else gave him a nickname that was incorrect. This nickname was forged at National 2023, not on a recently aired broadcast of boredom. The push for the old 2024 Hall of Fame started, so we are, if nothing else, that'll be sort of something we push at the very end when nobody's watching, when nobody cares to watch. So if nobody's watching, did it really happen? So, night, Jeff.
What we have said, though, in the event that you were to vote for either one of us individually, we would prefer you vote for the IRP. That's all we've said. That's all we've said. Because then it gives you another vote potentially.
Yep.
If Dave's on your ballot, vote for the IRP instead of Dave. If me and Dave are both on your ballot, vote for the IRP. It gives you another person. Unfortunately, Vinny's still not eligible.
Don't care.
Gotta make content. Oh, Costco, check it out. My brother said those Pokemon things that I got, the big $9.97.
I'll have to check that out.
I told him I could pick up 2 of each color if you can. I'd want more, but I haven't opened the first 2, so
Gotta catch them all, Dave. We gotta catch them all.
Pokemon, not STDs, right?
When we were younger, maybe.
Dave had to think there for a second. Make a note.
Yeah, I had just jot it down, make sure. So yeah, thank you everybody that watched, listens, live or in the archive. Just a wacky week of awkwardness all around in the old pantheon of the world. No matter what. Broncos winning, folks passing away, snow on Halloween Eve up here.
chilly temperatures down south.
That's winter's coming in like a lion. So, with that, he's Steve. That's Dor. I'm Dave, and Vinny is there as well. This has been the Instant Revolution podcast. Remember, collecting cards, wonderful hobby. The friendships you forge along the way, that's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.